Alright, welcome back to the Bastard's Guide to Direwolf20. I have been testing a few things, and it appears that my voice is rather low. I've tried tweaking the microphone a bit, and I hope it helps. Otherwise, I'll have to work on it a little bit more. The thing is, generally when I'm able to record, my daughter is trying to sleep, and I would like to keep her that way. So we'll see how it goes. First and foremost, we should probably check on the turtle, as it's been hopefully running all night. It has been about 24 hours since I last recorded, and I'm going to... Oh, it has not finished. This is probably due to monsters spawning down there, preventing it from doing its thing. This also means we're unlikely to have any useful loot whatsoever. Wow. Seriously, there's nothing except for dirt, and there's what I emptied out last night, but there is nothing new. Oh well, we'll let it run its course, and hopefully we'll be getting some loot soon. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so obviously I macerated a little too much. That's okay though. Over here we have 8 compressed, and I'm going to make another 8. We're gonna need some more flint. In order to get that, I'm gonna go down here and get some more gravel. By putting the gravel in the Ender IO sack mill, we should hopefully get flint. Or not hopefully, we will be getting flint. Here we go. And I'll pick some of the flint up from here. There's some more stuff that should be processed. The few things we got last night. I'm honestly a little bit astounded that I got absolutely nothing since last night from the turtle. That has not happened to me before, and it's a little bit distressing considering I was hoping to get some serious stuff done today. However, such is life. This will be compressed, and I'll add this to it, and we'll start getting places. Meanwhile, I'm going to try to sort all this into chests, and we'll see what happens from there. I should be getting the food, as my food supply will eventually become limited. Having these bushes is great early game food, and it's a good safety net. So, oh, there's some iron in the furnaces, probably. Yeah, okay. It's left over from yesterday. Anyway. Wow, just wow. This is certainly surprising. I did not expect that I would log into absolutely no reward for my efforts yesterday, but unfortunately that is the case, and instead of whining about it, I'm gonna have to get cracking instead. So here we go. I'm gonna get all this smelted up. At least, I'm pretty sure these will have filled up the buffer. Very good. This will provide for these to run faster, which is the whole point in letting things chunk load. Well, the other point about letting things chunk load overnight, part of the point was that I was supposed to get a whole lot of stuff. Man, that was silly. Oh well. I'm gonna get 2 more diamonds, and I'm gonna have to get some mid-game power going soon. Now, I had oil in my basement, which would be a really nice way to get started. However, refining oil to fuel is going to cost 4 diamonds, and as it is, well, let's just say I got nothing from the turtle so far, and therefore honestly, I don't think it's going to be in my best interest to I don't think it's going to be in my best interest to use 4 of those diamonds on power. It's very tempting, but I don't think so. Now I'm going to dump this bucket down there because that'll take care of the mob spawning as soon as the turtle gets a little bit further down. So I'm going to see if I can get a good look at what's clogging up the turtle. At the moment, nothing. And then I'll dump a bucket down here. This will fill up the room with water in a few moments. And as the turtle is still running, nothing has been unloaded during the night, which means it's clearly an issue of aforementioned proportions. Man, this is incredibly silly. Anyway, it is the challenges in life and all that that define us. Well, not the challenges that define us, but how we overcome them. I need a steady source of power, and I need a storage system. So, and nothing down there. Once the turtle finishes, I'm going to attempt to get everything cleared up and the server restarted so I can get Opus in. Why Opus, you might think? The thing about Opus is by using Opus, I will be able to see chunk-loaded areas and such. Now, Opus is for some reason disabled on the server side of Direwolf20 by default, but it is in fact installed and just needs to be activated. Which is what I intend to do. However, first, I'm going to get some torches because I'm going to need to light up the new area. Of course, the amount of charcoal available is somewhat limited. I was really hoping for resources at this point, so I'm a little taken aback. Let's see, I'm going to have 16 of these. It's going to allow me to get 64 torches, and yeah, so I'm going to make a room for processing stuff, and I'm going to have power in here. Now, I'm a little bit unsure how I plan to, what I plan to use for power and how I plan to attack this in general. This is a temporary setup. I cannot stress this enough. I do not intend in any way, shape, or form to keep this up as a base for the rest of the game. This is merely getting started, getting enough resources to get going, and after which I am going to branch out and build a bigger base somewhere. Maybe I'm going to start using the Last Millennium, which is a void world from extra utilities. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, not sure yet. A lot of things are spawning because it's night, but I'm actually going to keep it like this. For the reason that if things are spawning outside, and then they're less likely, they're not unable to, but they're less likely to spawn inside my turtle mine, and until the water covers the floor, there will be spawn zones. So in order to avoid my turtle getting overrun by monsters, they won't attack it, but they will block its way, and whereas the turtle will attack them if they're in the right position, if they're kind of off at a crooked angle, which is what I'm guessing something has been all night, and then it probably moved to get at me when I logged in and walked down there. I'm guessing whatever it was has been sitting next to the turtle all night, and therefore kept the turtle from doing what it's supposed to do. Now this is of course a great drag, so but nothing to do about it. we'll just roll with the punches, and we will see what happens now. So, step 1, make a little room here for power. I'm going to need to get started on some various things to make my life easier. I'm going to start on new tools, and I'm going to start on various other things, but it seems that ore processing needs to be taken up a gear, because even at this level, my 2 survival generators are not keeping up with power demand. So as I have oil in the basement, I'm probably going to go for oil. There's oil in the desert too. This will allow me to sort of quickly gain enough power to run everything efficiently. However, I am a little bit on the fence if it's going to be oil, because oil is also going to cost me 4 diamonds to get started, and like I said, we're obviously not doing too bright on diamonds at the moment. Another option would be to go directly for big reactors. Big reactors in most newer mod packs have had their config file changed. This includes Direwolf20, but I know that Infinity and others have done it too. Essentially, it is now 8 times more expensive in terms of fuel than it used to be. This is not a huge problem. It was actually fairly overpowered in the sense of ridiculously cheap and able to deliver a ton of power. And now it's able to deliver a ton of power, but it's not exactly cheap anymore. You need efficient reactors to be able to keep them fed from quarries. It is completely possible, and I'll demonstrate how when I get there, but it does require efficient quarries. You have to think optimal fuel consumption, and you will probably have to do a little bit of math on sizes and coolant and stuff. This is not a horribly daunting task in my opinion, but I do understand, like, people have different flares. I'm obviously a tech mod guy, and thus heavy math tech is not really something I consider difficult. But we'll see. Again, this is temporary home. I'm not gonna make it pretty. I'm gonna make it work. That is my main concern. And once we leave here, we'll try to make structures that are a little more aesthetically pleasing, but honestly, this was never my strong suit. Let's see what we can do though. However, first and foremost, yeah, okay, big reactor time. It's gonna be big reactor. I've made my decision. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna dig out a hole for a big reactor, and as I'm going to be running up and down this hole for a while, I'm going to make a staircase. I'm going to make the smallest big reactor that makes sense to me, which is actually an uncooled reactor. Well, uncooled. There's no coolant in it because there's no room for it. But it should be fine for the purpose. This is a good starting reactor, and it's not that resource intensive, which is ultimately helpful when you're kind of not able to throw many resources at it. So we'll see if I can actually afford it. Let's see, 28 of these and 35 yellorium. Yeah, we'll have to be a little bit lucky, and hopefully our turtle comes through, or my turtle comes through. If the turtle does not come through for me, this might be a little bit interesting. So anyway, I need wood, and I can hear that there's a lot of things going on top of my head, which means spiders galore and probably other nasty things when I get out of here. This room is about filled now, which means that the turtle can do its thing. It's not common for the squids to get in the turtle's way, but I've seen it happen before. An important thing about when you fill a quarry with water, make sure you clear it out ASAP afterwards, because the water is going to be it's going to be a potential source of lag for your game, and well, you probably don't want that. Okay, so off I go. What's going to happen now is this is going to take care of itself, and I will go and get my wood for right now. Now, there's a creeper out here, and oh dear, here comes the spiders. I'm going to take the creeper out first. The thing about fighting creepers is I could have probably jumped it there, but a little black spike and I'll be waving goodbye to this world, and well, that's just not good. Okay, there's a cow. It's making a lot of noise. Got me thinking I was being followed by something much bigger than that. So these trees are not my favorites for lumber foraging, as they can be kind of difficult to harvest all the way, and I kind of want to be able to harvest them all the way, because then they'll drop the leaves and it'll be nicer, and yeah. Anyway, this is a personal issue and has nothing to do with what's good and what's not. I'm quite confident that these trees are, as a matter of fact, just fine for everybody else but me, and they will provide whatever we need in terms of wood and everything else. They're perfectly fine trees. I just don't like that I have to build structures to get them all the way down. But I'll be back to do that later on. I'm going to leave it alone for right now. Where was that spider? He's up there. Alright, thing is, this guy is a fine source of string, and, well, he didn't drop any dread. There we go. Okay, so at this point I'm going to have 2 more diamonds over here, which I'm actually going to be very happy about. So 5 diamonds. I could potentially still go back and do oil for power, or rather fuel, but actually I'm not going to. Let's see. Oh yeah, the recipe is going to be as such. Tool station. This is for Tinkers. Tinkers is ultimately one of the most insane mods in terms of tools. You'll be able to make the most fantastical tools, and I see no reason not to use this to get started at this point. There'll be some more fun to it. I'm just going to check how much iron I have. I will need a fair amount for the... If my brain worked for a second. I'll need a fair amount of iron for my Big Reactor. Sorry, that just completely threw me for a loop. I'll need a fair amount of iron for my Big Reactor. And I can see that it's burning up a fair amount, which means I'll be set for my Big Reactor shortly in terms of iron. Which means I can use some on a Tinker's tool table. Now, Tinker's is more than just iron. Sorry, I'll need iron for Tinker's, but Tinker's is more than just that. So I'll need some other stuff too. However, that'll be the process here. I'm going to need 4 blocks of iron for the Tinker's Tool Forge, which I intend to use for a few things. I'm going to need some other stuff, so I'm actually going to make a little break for it while it's still not night out. I'm going to have to be a little bit careful here at the beginning. As I get better equipment, better armor, better stuff, caution will be something I can throw to the wind occasionally, but for right now, caution needs to be observed as, well, it's one false move and I will be dead and have to get my stuff. It really isn't that big of a setback, but I just really do not enjoy deaths, which makes me naturally fairly cautious in this game. So, here we go. I'm gonna head out here for some clay, and it's really nice that I'm right next to the meteor. This is AE2. AE2 is vast change up from AE, Applied Energistics, if you have ever tried it. Applied Energistics had some great functionality and was very easy to get started with. Applied Energistics 2 has, in my opinion, even greater functionality, but it is a lot harder to get started with. It requires some meteor digging and stuff, which actually makes it fun, challenging, and interesting. The auto crafting system in AE2 is vastly superior to AE. AE had some really gorgeous auto crafting, nothing of that, but AE2 has hugely improved on the auto crafting aspect, and yeah, I really cannot say enough good things about it. But we'll get to there, and I'll demonstrate when we get there. For right now, I'm gonna try to get the sand and the clay out of here. I should have enough to make a small smeltery, but for right now, all I actually want is the axe that you can make with the lumber axe you can make with AE2. AE2, sorry, with Tinkers. But yeah, that meteor is going to come in handy when we branch into AE2, which is going to be fairly soon. I was actually going to look at it this episode, but given that the turtle has done nothing overnight, we'll see how fast I go about this. However, I'm going to start on getting some stuff in order for okay, well, at least it's progressing now, and rapidly so that's a good thing. It should end up in the first chest available, and then it'll move on to the next chest. Chests on the same wire or the same pipe are going to be given about the same priority, which means the next step, because there's multiple chests on the next step of the wire, will be a little bit different. Anyway, we'll take stuff as it comes, and let's see what happens. This is starting to make graphite, which we're going to need for the power aspect of things. I'm going to make another room for Tinkers and probably other low-tech. Like, Tinkers is not really a technical mod. It's not really a magical mod either, I suppose. It doesn't require power. You can do some things with power in Tinkers, but on the general whole, Tinkers is about blacksmithing, and it's quite nicely made. Maybe a little unbalanced in some aspects, but in order to get there, you're gonna have to work for it. So in that aspect, maybe it's fair enough. I don't know. Anyway, I need I need more tools, one more pick, and I'm going to get a shovel because, well, you never know. Here we go. So, this is going to be the tinker's room. There's going to be a smelter in here, so for starters, I'm going to put the tinker's tools up against one of the far walls, simply because I want to be able to have room for the smelter in here. I should have double walls out to my entry room, at least that's what I aim for. We'll see if my math is right. And if I do have double walls, then it's going to make it a little bit easier to pull wires and stuff. I mean, for the tinker's room it's irrelevant, but for the production room it's certainly relevant. My main room is probably going to have an AE2 terminal and nothing else, and all the automation stuff is going to happen behind that wall in the room where the power is and all that stuff. So we'll see how it goes, and I'm going to start working on it shortly. But first, I want to make this room as the graphite cooks up. And once the graphite is cooked up, I'm going to move my ore doubling, and I'm probably going to try to upgrade it. I don't have what I need for a large capacitor setup yet, but I do have what I need, I believe, for I think it's a dual capacitor, which is gonna speed things up considerably, but I mean it's not quite the same as the oct capacitor. However, I will get to the oct capacitor as soon as I get to the MFR spawner, which I'm going to be working on at some point too. I'll be needing ender pearls galore, and I'll be needing blaze rods, and I'll be able to skip the first few blaze rods. That's the benefit of having a desert and the cinder blooms nearby, and I picked up all the cinder blooms I could carry when I was running. As you may remember, cinder blooms will be uncrafted into blaze. It'll not give me blaze rods, but it'll give me blaze, and blaze is a good start. Blaze powder. Blaze powder will allow me to make, I believe it will allow me to make the first spawner without having to do too much nethery stuff. I'll have to get nether wart, so I'll have to explore that nether dungeon. But hopefully I can do that in a somewhat safe manner, and hopefully lag-free manner. That would be very nice, because, well, let's just say being lagged in the nether was an interesting experience that I hope not to repeat. Being lagged beyond casual movement is never good, and in the nether it's, well, really bad. So first we're going to need the stencil table, so I'm going to put that over here. The tool station I'll actually hold on to. The part builder is going to be right there, and the chest is going to be right there. So if we open this up, we can drop the stencils in. Okay, good. So far so good. I'm going to head out and see what my crafting has come to thus far, and I'm going to sleep. I don't want too many monsters on top of my building while I'm trying to get stuff done. Alright, let's see. I do apologize if I'm still fairly low. My voice really doesn't seem to be carrying all that much, and I'm trying to figure out what I can do about that, but we'll be seeing that. So, Big Reactor is step one. The Big Reactor will need certain parts, so we need to start out by making casing. I don't have the iron in my hand, which means my casing is not going to happen. There we go. So I'm going to need all this casing. There's just no way about it. And I'm not even sure that that's enough. So we'll have to explore the options for getting more casing soon. Anyway, for now, we'll make it work. Okay, so I'm going to make... First off, I'm going to make a yellorium fuel rod. I'm going to make 2 of those because we'll have 2 open spaces in the center of the reactor. I'm going to make, I need redstone for that. I'm going to make the control rod, which is necessary for the next part. I'm actually 1 graphite short. No, I'm 3 graphite. Oh yeah, I used all the charcoal. Okay, 1, 2, 3 there. Yeah, this will be interesting. Anyway, this is making grout, and we're actually going to need the grout. So, yeah, there's going to be a little reprioritizing here, back and forth. We'll take it as it comes, but I'll let it smelt up the next batch of grout, because I'm going to need, it'll give me 3, and then I'll get another 3, and oh dear, yeah, that's probably silly. Anyway, I'll let this run for a little bit and then I'll change it up. In here, I'm going to take the cobblestone. I'm going to try to get rid of it to clear up these chests a little bit, because it's going to start getting difficult to fit things. So some of this cobble will have to go elsewhere, and I have just the place. There we go. Okay, so we'll move some cobble down here. It does seem that I'll hit bedrock at a reasonable time, and whoop, there we go. I do believe, without being too sure, that the turtle is on its way back, carrying loot for me. There we go. So we'll be able to see it unload here, and I actually need that coal, so I'll steal that up front, and there we go. So the transfer node here is gonna start taking out stuff. It'll try to put in these, and they're hard coded, so only stone will go into this one and this one, which is in the first one. Then it'll try the second one again, cobblestone, cobblestone. Now if it has something else than cobblestone in the node, you'll see it load up here. It'll search for the inventories, it'll continue out the pipe, and then it'll see, it'll try the dirt barrel, it'll try the gravel barrel. If that doesn't work, it'll start unloading it into here, which is why we'll see stuff getting out here more and more frequently, as it gets other stuff than gravel and dirt. And yeah, this also means that stuff like marble and stuff will end up out there, and well, let's just say marble is just not my big thing. I would rather prefer that it wasn't there, but it's what it is, and it will continue to go. So I should probably, as they say, stop crying and get used to it. Alright, so the grout is ready, and I'm going to start. I need seared bricks. Oh, dear me. Okay, there's actually a small problem here, so I'll need to undo this for a second, and then I'll need to redo it. I'm going to need 3 more grout, or 3 more grout cooked for seared bricks, as I'll need 4 seared bricks to top the tool station and get the axe I want, to get more materials to do all the things that I would like to do. It's just a matter of efficiency, and well, it's a little silly. It's what it is. I do things this way, and it'll be next in line, and then I'll need more iron, and the iron will be next in line, and then we'll be okay. I have the seared brick I need now, and let's take it from the top. Here we go, and then the tool station. This will create the tool forge. The tool forge will allow us to make the heavier tinker's tools, which is going to be ultimately useful in a minute. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to place down the tool forge, and let's see. So we're going to need the axe. It needs a plate, it needs a large binding, it needs a large tool or a heavy tool rod, and the axe head. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to make the heavy tool rod pattern, we're going to make the tough binding pattern, we're going to make the axe head pattern, and we're going to make the large plate pattern that way. There we go. Alright, and then we're going to make these parts individually. At this point I could start making casts for it, but actually for right now. I don't want to do a whole lot of smelting, and I don't have enough materials to build the smeltery anyway. So instead, I'm just going to make a stone axe, lumber axe. It'll wear out pretty quickly, but it's okay because what I really need it for is to get some stone going early on. Stone tools actually get faster as they break, which is something that can be used to your advantage. And I fully intend to do so. And I'm just going to get rid of some more cobble. I think, given the Y level of the turtle, it's going to be limited how much cobble it's going to carry up. I think this will be fine. I can offload some of my cobble without being too worried. There we go. Okay, I'm going to bring the flint up because you never know. And the uranium, because we're definitely going to need... the uranium will be sack milled into yellorium, or yellorite, which is what we need for our nuclear fuel. So more of that for the big reactor is definitely preferable. This is going to smelt up some more stuff for that, and meanwhile I'm going to make the fuel rod. Or the control rod. So we have the control rod, we have 2 yellorium fuel rods. We're probably going to want access ports. This will allow us to take stuff in and out. So we'll go for that right now. In order to do that, I'm going to need some wood. And I should have everything else, I believe. So we're going to need 2 pistons. We're going to need 2 chests, the latter being fairly trivial to make. So 2 pistons, 2 chests, and just the reactor stuff in general. Alright, so far so good. I do prefer having rednet ports, or rather redstone ports, to be able to control the reactor. This will allow me to turn it off and on at will. So I'm going to make 2 of those. They are not exactly cheap at this point, but they'll save me a boatload of power, or boatload of fuel, which should hopefully long term prove to be most beneficial. I'm also going to need a controller, and I do believe power tap, access ports, redstone port, controller, yellorium fuel rod, and control rod. Yeah, we should be fine once I get my hands on enough graphite for the rest of the process, and we'll be able to make a controller. So I'm gonna quickly. There we go. And that's 4 of those that allow us to do the controller. Now the controller is going to require diamond. And this is, though, the only thing in the big reactor that requires diamond, and it's the only, well, at least the passive part. And it is, I believe, the only thing that, yeah, we only need 1 of those for the whole reactor. So essentially, it's very efficient, and yeah, you can make reactor glass. I'm not going to. I'm going to bury this reactor in the ground, so making it pretty seems rather counterintuitive to me. But it is indeed very possible. Let's see, we have some graphite bars here. We're going to need a lot more graphite. I'm starting to wonder if we're going to run out of yellorium before we're done building, but hopefully hopefully the turtle will return with some more before we finish the reactor. Yellorite is fairly rare, but not horribly, and can be found at most Y levels, if I'm not much mistaken. Anyway, it's we should be able to have a fair production of it going, and based on that, it's realistic to get this going. Now, I'm gonna start making up the bottom of the reactor, and then we'll have a better idea of how much we're actually going to need. There we go. So we're short here, but that's okay for right now. We're going to be putting 2 fuel rods up here and the control rod on top. There we go. Okay. The reactor controller needs to be accessible from somewhere. I'm going to place it right here, and the power tap would generally go anywhere but on the corners. I'm going to put it right here. The automation is... it's necessary to be able to reach it from elsewhere, so there's a sad tendency for okay, I'm going to move this and I'm going to put the power in the wall. There's a sad tendency for RedNet cable, which is usually the best way to connect the redstone ports. In recent modpacks, has a sad tendency to disconnect spontaneously, which is a big drag, as it'll disconnect when you're when the game unloads for some reason. Though we have a chunk loader, so that might not be a huge issue. And I need to be able to pipe. Actually, I'm gonna have to rely on the chunk loader and put the automation in here. I'll make it accessible from the hallway, and I'll hope for that to be yeah, I'll hope for that to be good enough. I'm going to place this here. This will allow us to input and output fuel. At first, I'll do a very basic setup, and then as time progresses, I'll try to fully automate it. Okay, so at this point, we're going to be needing a lot more casing, which is hopefully been the graphite has hopefully been cooking up for it. So we're going to need 4 here. We're going to need 2 there. We need another 4 there, so that's 10. We're going to need 4 here, 2 there, and 4 there. That's 10 more. I'm guessing we're going to need 11 total. So we'll see. There should be enough of everything, hopefully, to... oh no, actually that's not 11, that would be 21. Sorry, okay, so we'll see. I should have enough yellorium, as the yellorium is a limited amount compared to the other. Like it's 1 yellorium for 4 of these, which means we'll have a little bit to use as fuel when we're done, which is, well, that should be very useful. I'm actually going to switch these 2 up so that I can close the floor up a little bit more. There we go, and we'll have the controller right there. Now, all these special blocks cannot sit on any of the edges, which is why I'm placing them on the sides. By making this design, I'm going to have those 2 blocks on each side where I can put stuff, and the center block on top is unavailable, as that's where the control rod needs to sit, and technically I can put something on the bottom where the control rod sits on top. But that's the only configurable areas for this size reactor. Now, as time progresses, reactors will get increasingly very much bigger, and it will cease to be a problem. But for right now, I'm just going to have to do a little creative thinking in how I position things. Anyway, there we go. So we can see another 4 and another 3, so 7 more, and we're good to go. So, like I said, I'm not trying to win any beauty contest here with this base, so I'm just going to fill up as we go, and hopefully this will do the trick. I'm going to allow this to be open in case I fall in, which is realistic to happen, because, well, we're talking me. Let's see, get rid of the cobblestone. I'm going to get rid of the wood. I'm going to get rid of the water bucket. And I really don't need the aluminum right now. So some more graphite. And we're going to get some more in a moment. This has run dry too, and this is processing nicely, so we'll want to move all this to the processing chest, which I will eventually move. I think I'm just going to use the dolly to move the processing chest. That way it'll stay in the correct order and stuff. And then I'll try to upgrade it on the other side. So this is progressing, and we're going to need a fair amount more, so I'm just going to hold off for right now and let it do its thing while I sleep, and then try to gather some wood real quickly. So, sleeping through the night. Time to gather wood. Alright, so everything hostile is on fire right now, which makes it joyfully easy to see, but unfortunately, it also enables it to set me on fire, which I rather do not appreciate. So there we go. Alright. There's a few things to be aware of about config options in Direwolf20, and I will get to them shortly. I have actually happily forgotten all about it, but there's a couple of things we'll have to set. This will not change gameplay at all. It's stuff like when MFR, or any other mod for that matter, Ender.io, anything, when anything automatically kills monsters, then COFH Core will happily announce, if they're named, and a lot of monsters are. As you can see, it's just the sickly skeleton. Now, oh dear, that is a concussion creeper, and as you may have noticed, it will not blow up any blocks, it will not do any damage, but it will teleport you away to a random location and give you dizziness and nausea. This can, if you're really lucky, teleport you below bedrock, and well, that'll cause you to fall into the void. And not only that, but when you die normally in this mod pack, all your items will be dropped in a gravestone that you can then retrieve at your leisure. Now, if you were to die from falling below bedrock, so into the void, well, congratulations, all your stuff is lost. So naturally, this is something that we are looking to avoid. Okay, that guy we'd like to avoid too. How did I not notice that hole right next to my base? Well, obviously getting old. So, this tree down, and I'll already need to repair my axe. It was a fair amount of wood though. I'm just going to check if I can pick up a little more wood on the top side. And yeah, I'm doing really good in terms of parkour here. This was never my strong suit, but yeah, guess I'm doing alright. So, as these leaves disappear, then more things will fall to the ground, of course, and I'm unsure if I want to actually worry too much about getting all the things, or just letting them fall and pick them up later. I think I might just let the rest of it fall down on its own, and just run a couple of trips down here and pick stuff up. So yeah, there we go. I'll just pick up what's down here, and then I'll come back for round 2 in a couple of minutes. Now some things will naturally despawn, and that's okay. I'm just going to take this tree with me on the way. Oh, I'm using the wrong axe, that's why it's not working. I was wondering why my newfound amazing axe did not do what it's supposed to do, but I guess it does help using the actual axe for the process. Anyway, there we go. Okay, it doesn't really do these kinds of trees apparently. I don't remember that being an issue, but oh well, we'll worry about that later. I'm just going to pick up the wood and get to working with it. Now, Direwolf20 has the hats mod, which means you can get hats from monsters. You probably noticed that I've gotten a bunch of hats now and then, and well, you can get hats from monsters, and you can then use these hats for cosmetic purposes. They're rather silly. I mean, some people might think that it's pretty cool, and that's fine. Anyway, that's the purpose they have, and you can gather some pretty funny hats you can wear. Anyway, kill a monster that has the hat on, and the hat will be added to your collection, and you can use it from there on out. Okay, so back inside, I have a fair amount of wood now, which is going to be really useful in my crafting endeavors and whatnot. And let's see, the graphite is going to be quite useful too, so let's see what we can do here, and then let's get this show on the road, because getting more power would be really useful at this particular point in time. I'm going to stop whatever is working in here, which is, oh dear, yeah, so again, move things around constantly is always fun. I'm gonna need some wiring, and the easiest way to make it is Ender IO. And if I remove these, that's gonna drop. I'll need the grout. I can cook this up some other time, move this up, as I'll need both iron and yellorium very soon, and I'll cook some of this greatwood lumber up. This greatwood lumber will be useful for Thaumcraft later, but honestly, the amount you need is fairly limited. It's not just me having issues with Thaumcraft, it's that it's actually not necessary to have vast amounts of it. Alright, there we go. So this is the basic reactor and the reactor interface. Now I should be making some redstone or rednet cables, but I'll actually wait a minute about that and control the reactor manually from the get-go. 16 yellorium is not the world, but it'll do for now. So this is going to be the input, and this will be the output. There we go. This will allow us to automate it later on. Okay. If I was to hit activate reactor, temperature's going to come up. It's going to go up to about, what? It's going to go up a whole lot. This is using an obscene amount of yellorium per tick, so we'll want to limit that. We do this by inserting the rod, so 10% should cool it off considerably. You'll see the amount of millibuckets per tick going down. We're still above 900. The sweet spot, or rather, the spot where it starts getting ridiculously expensive, is about 900 degrees. Now this is obviously too much. Also, we're losing a fair amount of power generated. So maybe, let's see, we can do Alt is -5, so now we're back to 15%. This goes up to perfect, just about. Yeah, that's about as close as we'll get. Alright, so we'll let this fill up a little bit. It's important we don't let it run, because once this is full, nothing more will happen. But this will give us enough power to run just about anything, which is the purpose of this little expedition here. Okay, so down here we'll find the power tap, and I'll pull the power over along this wall, and we'll put the machines out here and do our thing with them. Anyway, let it refill, and we'll see if there's any luck here. There's a little bit of conductive iron, and we're going to need a lot more of that. Anyway, one thing at a time. So I'm going to need more of the clay. I'm going to need 2 clay. I'm going to need 4 of these, and I'm going to need a good load of gravel. So there we go. This is for the cords or wiring. When you're pulling wire in Ender IO, you can make these bindings that'll allow you to make Ender IO conduits. This is the casing for all Ender IO conduits. It's the contents of the conduits that determine what you're going to get. So I'm just going to quickly get some conduit and start pulling it. But first, let's see how this is doing. We're filling up with oh dear, but it's getting hotter. How's it getting hotter? So we're probably going to have to Shift Alt insert rod a little bit. 18%. So what are we looking at? Temperature's going to drop. And we're sitting pretty again. Okay. We don't want to waste all our fuel because we don't have a whole lot of it. But on the other hand, we want reliable power. And, well, we want it right now. Alright, so hopefully this will be done in a moment. And actually, when it is, I'm gonna I think I'm gonna make an additional I'm gonna make an additional alloy smelter that I'm gonna move into the other room. Probably gonna make an additional sag mill too. I could just move these, but I think this will help me speed up my production really quickly. So there we go. This is the basics for any Ender IO machine, and I'm going to do the alloy smelter first. I'm going to need this cauldron that I took from the goblin's house, and I'm going to need 3 furnaces. So there we go, and this one on the bottom, these in a circle around it, and the casing to finish the piece. Very good. Okay, so for the sag mill, I believe that we're going to need something like this. And where's my flint? Could that be it? Nope. Alright, I'll look it up. Apparently my memory is a little bit in shambles. Oh, I need a little bit more iron, but otherwise the configuration is correct. Alright, there we go. So over here we have 3 conduit now. Conductive iron. So I'm going to take the conductive iron, I'm going to take some conduit from the furnace. You get a lot of conduit out of your conduit binder. So actually it's fairly cheap, and the small energy conduits will pull 640 RF per tick, which is actually ironically, well, not ironically, but it's more than we're generating. So that's not a concern at the moment. Eventually though, we will want to be able to pull more power. So the sag mill here is going to be configured to push and pull from the top, so we'll carry the other sag mills output to it. Now this alloy smelter is going to be set to pull from the side and push on top. This will allow me to pull things in from here, and at some point maybe output from that into that. However, that's going to be a matter of what goes down. So, here we go. I had a dolly somewhere, I think. Or maybe I didn't. Actually, no, I don't think I ever made a dolly. So, we'll have to make a dolly, and the easiest way to go about that is this. There we go. Alright. So, from this, I will grab this and move it in here. Put it right there, and that should start pulling it in. And I'll need the output chest from the smeltery, which is currently actually sitting on top. Oh wait, whoa, that's the wrong chest. That was not very good. Okay, so that's the pull, and this is the push chest. So I'm going to put the push chest on top, and that's where it ends up. And from here I'm going to take this chest, because that's the chest that the Sagnal does the pull push for and from. There we go. Alright, so the machines in here should be pretty set. And it's already filled itself up with flint again. I'm going to take out the silicon, I'm going to keep the flint, and this will do what it needs to do and slowly finish up the process. Meanwhile, I'm going to check on this. This will take its time, it'll be slow, but it'll probably get over it eventually. There you go. We're going to let that one empty out, and we're going to probably feed that one a little bit more for right now. And I'll move this over here. Actually, never ever you mind. I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to put it over here, and we're going to let the alloy smelter finish its job, and oh dear, it'll attempt to output into the survivalist generator, which we cannot have, so there we go. Alright, like I said, this, we'll just let them both fill up afterwards. You can always use a full survival gen when the time comes. I'll empty this out, and we'll worry about that later. Alright, so I'll put some stuff into this chest. Clear out here. Okay, so Big Reactor going. That's so far so good. Let's see what we have further down. First I'm just going to check that this is progressing as it should be, and it seems to be perfectly fine. Then I'm going to head down here and check out if output from the turtle is getting in where it needs to go, and it is. The turtle is getting pretty deep now, so now we're actually getting resources. Of course, we're way behind, because this was meant to have worked for us overnight, but it wasn't, so oh well. Alright, so I keep going to the wrong room, and probably set up the automation here and then close up the wall, because already I'm messing up. Alright, so this needs to go there. We'll have the aluminum, we'll have all the other fun stuff going in here. Over here we're going to need cook up the cinnabar, but I really don't want to deal with that at the moment. In here we're going to make the smeltery, and meanwhile I should probably be getting some storage ready, which means now I have a decision to make on what I'm going to do for storage. I'm going to let this fill up, and I think I'm going to do something fairly early in the game. There's a bit of iron here. Do we have more iron? Probably do. I'm going to take these two coal dust and see how much of this I can unload into this chest. I need the iron though. Probably only some of it. That's alright. I'm going to have to sort these chests out in a minute, but first and foremost, I need one more iron. Aluminum's not going to cut it, but I'll bet that iron is happening in here anytime now. Yeah, it's going through the grout, and after the grout comes iron, and then more yellowite. Speaking of yellowite, let's see how we're doing here. The energy buffer is slowly filling up. We just want to keep an eye on it, so we can turn it off when it starts getting close to being full. And let's see, this is burning up nicely. Actually, I'm just going to stop this and get the iron going, because yeah, I do need the iron more than I need the smeltery right now. Yeah, so I made a decision for storage, and I'm actually gonna see if I can go for A2 right off the bat. Now, I'm gonna need a little luck, because I'm gonna need a charged quartz to break into A2, so hopefully my turtle will encounter one, and if it doesn't, then hopefully I will. But meanwhile, I can I can prep for A2. Now A2 is, for obvious reasons, going to be a little while underway. Now I'm not quite sure how long I've been running this episode, but we're also going to have to round up soon, so I won't get to A2 during this episode, but I think we'll be at the start of the next episode. We'll be going for A2 right off the bat. Now, what I plan to do is I plan to smelt up dark iron. I plan to make a dark iron pick. The dark iron pick, once powered, is really fast in mining anything that's obsidian level, which just so happens that the meteors from applied energistics are. Therefore, I anticipate I can get a lot done in a very short amount of time with a better pick. Here we go. I'm going to need some storage, so I'm going to start moving stuff around real quick before we end this episode. Let's see, the flint can go over here, and yeah, flint is going to be really useful in all of this. Let's see, this is currently still outputting iron. It shouldn't take so long because it's going to be a fairly fast process with the amount of power it's being supplied. Let's see, this is completely charged. This is completely charged. This is of course losing power slowly. Dark iron is pretty tough to cook, and these are of course all the way down in the buffer but still generating power. Yeah, we should bounce back. Let's see, I need for the next set of machines that I'll be making, to ease our transition to A2, I'm gonna need I'm gonna need charged quartz. Let's see, no dice. Okay, I'm actually gonna need more quartz as well, and I'm gonna be working on the nether quartz, but I imagine I'll get some of it out of there. Okay, so we need some chests for storage, and let's see what we have for metal to make these chests. This will be a temporary solution, which sort of pains me a little that I'll be using expensive materials, but actually double chests will have to do it for right now. So seeing this is my machine and will be my A2 room, it'll house my storage right now, and oh, that was good. Alright, let's get random stuff in random places. Now this is stuff I don't intend to use right away, so I'll just drop it in here. This chest will contain things that I will find useful very soon. Yeah, so top chest, bottom chest I'll put food in. So let's start clearing out this area. More quartz. Fortunately none of it charged. However, they'll be alright. Come on. Alright. So this is the stuff I'll find useful shortly, and quartz, these things should be cooked for the most part. I'm going to put them over here. Things I'll find useful soon. It's going to be this and this and this. Here we go. Now these things I'll plant the cotton seeds. The witchery stuff I'll wait about. The creeper head is definitely going to come in very handy very soon. And all these other things. Well, first of all this goes in here. It's all very neat, and we'll get to it later, but it's not for now. Oh, and this is awful. This goes in here, and I'll put materials on top, so wood, all that, oh not wood, all the inorganic, like stone, dirt, yeah, all that stuff, it'll go up there. So, gravel, stone, dirt, clay, more clay, and this chest will go all the stuff that I will not have use for right now. The stone steps I've already used. The food is at the bottom. I don't quite know if I'll classify eggs as food, but all this will plant, so that'll go in there, and I'll put this in here with the magical stuff. This might come in useful. Well, that's not food. Alright, so food and plantables. Okay, never mind. I did destroy my own order things by putting the plantables over here, so I'll take that out. The egg belongs to the food category for a multitude of reasons. This is plantable, I'll toss it in there. Food is going to get the cooked pork chops too. This is fine up here. No, I'll dump all my books in here as I actually never really use them, and thus they'll just be in the way. There's a lot of useful information in the books, and if you haven't had the time to read them ever, you should probably go through them. But for right now, I don't really have that interest, as I have read them quite a few times, and I'm quite confident that I know what I need to do. However, should the situation arise, then it's nice to have them around, and therefore I'm going to use some storage space on them. So cinnamon, sugar, obsidian, all this stuff is ultimately useful and will be stored. This is gonna be useful, but not right now, so I'm gonna toss it in here. The dimlets are from RF Tools, which is actually from a recent update to the pack. It's an interesting mod. I haven't played with it much, but it seems very interesting. You can use RF to generate worlds, and it'll allow you to do a variety of interesting things. But as it is right now, I don't have the power to generate worlds using RF. I frankly barely have the power to keep myself running, so for right now, we're not going to worry about it, and later on we'll bring it back up again. I'm going to move all the plantable stuff to a different chest, because clearly I'm running out of space. There we go. And the cacti, there we go. Oh no, wrong chest. Down here. Okay, so this is the plantable stuff that I have designs on planting very soon. I'm going to need some gardening going, and I'm going to need some other things, which is why I'm trying to get some stuff going now. Okay, so this, oh dear, that was probably a little aggressive. Okay, I'm going to take this down, I'm going to take this down. There we go. This will also help us pick this a lot easier. Ta-da! Food is good. All of this is charged nicely. Those are charging up. It's not bad to have that kind of stuff ready when need arises, so we'll just keep it going. Going in here, I'm going to dump this stuff off. Now, this is a real quick sort, and wasn't completely extensive. However, it covered the immediate need. There we go, and I'm going to be able to place a few more chests on the wall. Okay, that was not in any way neat or anything, but again, I'm going to toss this out for, if it doesn't drive me insane before that. I'm going to toss this out for AE2 briefly, so shouldn't be a problem. There we go, and in here. Alright, so this is our material overview. I'm going to quickly make a sawmill while I'm mentally preparing for... I think that might actually be one word. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So while I'm mentally preparing for everything here, I'm going to make a sawmill. So I'm going to need... Okay, I don't have any tin. Never mind that. Though I think there's tin in the processing system, but it'll just have to process. So that'll be a story for next episode. So hopefully I finished this episode on time, which clearly wasn't the case last time, and I do apologize. And I will be filling up these machines before I take off for good measure. This will not process, and thus does not serve a purpose to toss in there. Alright, so I'm going to toss all of this in the machines, and I will be back for next episode. Thank you all very much for watching.